describe to me the last 24 hours, the last 7 days. I mean, when did this first pop up on your radar that you might fight Tony Ferguson?
I think it was about 9 days ago, and I feel like there's 7 point something billion people on Earth, and not one person is in my position right now, and I love it. My family, they all get they're all super nervous, super excited. Everyone totally believes in me. Brings me comfort. But I know what I have in front of me. Tony Ferguson he lives in dark places. He's going to take me to a dark place. And, MMA was defined by a fight like me and Tony Ferguson.
Did you have any kind of inkling, or did you have any kind of premonition that this was a possibility?
I mean, I should have. I definitely should have, but it's really hard to get ready for something, like this without this being at the end of the tunnel. This bright light wasn't there, so I had to wake up every morning with the ambition that I'm fighting for a world title. But ultimately, since I was 4 years old, I've stepped into practice and I've worked my butt off. I've tried to make myself quit thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this opportunity.
So you said 9 days ago. I'm trying to picture. You're probably in your home. I mean, I'm guessing just because we're all in our homes these days. Or where were you when you got the call that hey, Justin, this may be a possibility?
Yeah, I was sitting on it was like 11 p.m. I think last Saturday or Sunday maybe, and I think it was Friday night. They called me and said, "Would you like to?" I was like, call my coach, and then coach is like, you don't take late replacement fights. And I was like, you're right. And the next day, I said, let's sleep on it. I woke up and I was like, where are we at if I lose? And for me, it's the same exact spot. And, I've been scheduled for, I think, 14 or 15 5-round fights. I've never gone the distance. My fights, either I get finished or they get finished inside 3 rounds. And with a matchup like this, with me and Tony Ferguson, one of us is going to finish each other inside 3 rounds. That's what I think.
Why have you been, because you're kind of famous for it, why are you so against short notice fights, or have you been against those fights?
Well, so when I train for a fight, I really go to a special place. Every single day I do not cheat. I wake up with a goal in mind, and it's just to be better than yesterday. And the more days you could do that in a row, the more prepared you will be. So for me, it's it's always that mental warfare. Confidence is huge in there, and if you aren't prepared, then you can't be confident, or as confident as you should be. Thankfully, I've been, my 2 teammates, Austin Hubbard, Neil Magny, they fought on the Las Vegas card, so I was their main training partners, main sparring partners, and I've been going hard since January, February. So when I went to my coach, I was like, Coach, I've been sparring 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds for fun, since January. I can do this, and then you put a world title on top of that, interim world title, the opportunity that's on the table right now, it's a no-brainer for me.
You mentioned that it's quite an opportunity, an interim title fight. And, I've seen over the course of history, some guys put a lot of emphasis on an interim title. Some guys don't. Clearly you do. What does an interim title mean to you?
So what an interim title means to me and every other fighter, when you are a champion, you get a piece of the pay-per-view. When I obtain this belt, that makes me a champion on paper in the UFC's eyes, and that gives me pay-per-view points. I fight for money, and this opportunity is huge for me in that regard. Same with Tony. I think that's why Tony's taking it, because if he wins his belt, he gets a piece of the pie next fight. That's why we're all doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing you mentioned on Twitter is that you use an expletive, a curse word that I won't repeat, but you said that you're scared or you're terrified.
I was, yeah. It took me like 4 or 5 days. I couldn't even sleep. I haven't had this feeling in a long time. So every time I get it, I love it, and it really kicks me in the butt and gets me going. But with such a short training camp, it definitely was harder to overcome. But you got to face your fears. This opportunity is here. Dana White is going to pull this off, and I'm going to go in there and fight my butt off.
When was the last time you were terrified like that? You said it's been a while.
Man, I don't remember ever being that scared as I was.
And what scares you? What scares you?
It's
Tony
the
or?
it's the confidence. Confidence is everything for me, and I know, I'm not an idiot. That it takes time, it takes preparation to be ready to push the pace that I push for 25 minutes. Luckily, I'm very confident that I can do that, and I've been in worse spots hundreds of times in my career where this would have never been an opportunity. But I knew, even in January and February, I was telling myself internally that no matter what, I'm going to fight again, and it's going to be a huge fight. So I was still going into practice with that mindset, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful that it was in somewhere back there in the back of my head that this was a possibility, and I do feel like I have been subconsciously training for something like this.
Mm-hmm. Based on what you said, and you're right, you're a realist and you give honest answers. So based on what you said of like maybe after 18 minutes, this is going to be really, really a difficult challenge. Does that change the game plan at all? And I mean, you're kind of already a guy that goes in there and looks for an early knockout anyway.
Yeah, no, it doesn't change a thing. I think I've been scheduled for like 14, 15, 16 5-round fights. I've never gone 5 rounds. I've gone 1 minute into the 4th round one time. And the 2 times that I went the longest, I lost both of those fights. And so with the way that I fight, I really feel like I have changed the way that I fight. I feel like I conserve energy much more. And I feel like I could fight like I fought the last 3 fights. I could fight like that forever, for as many rounds as I need to. Yeah. Tony doesn't allow that. Tony's, he would be smart not to allow that. But, I really need to touch his legs, touch his body. And so he doesn't want to engage, and really allows me to fight at my pace. That's what I'm going in there to do. Fight my fight and, put him to sleep. I have to touch him. He gets touched. He gets touched a lot. He engages a lot. I know he's going to be super pumped up mentally for this fight because of the circumstances, because of the lost opportunity to fight Khabib. So I know he's going to be aggressive. I know he's going to come out and he's going to be aggressive. He's going to make mistakes, and I'm going to touch him.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.